Welcome back, friends, to Dubster Dive. This one I wanted to do something a little different simply because I've done all the research for Tiger and Bunny, which as promised will be next, but haven't really had the time to watch it yet. So I figured since we've gotten through 3 seasons of Dubster Dive, as well as a couple of retrospectives with Bleach, and a few miscellaneous things here and there, I figured we would look back and clear up some of the mistakes I made because, you know, I'm not perfect. Unfortunately, I'm only almost perfect. Jokes aside, though, I did screw up a lot over these past couple years, and yeah, I can't believe it's been 2 years already since the start of Dubster Dive. Anyway, so take a look back with me at what we've accomplished so far together. Because let's be honest, these videos only happen because of you guys. And yeah, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, wherever, doesn't matter. So, thank you for that. So all the way back to the beginning then. We first started with Saint Seiya, where I made a massive mistake. And it was with Shun's voice actor. Andromeda Shun, I had said in the first video, was voiced by Andrew Sebastian, who was Shun in the Deke dub of Saint Seiya, not the Netflix/Sentai dub. Bad enough I did that once, but I did the exact same thing again when we did the Saint Seiya Revisited video a few months later. I don't know how I managed to do that twice, but here we are. Anyway, Shun's actual voice actor in the Sentai Netflix dub is Blake Jackson, who most of you might know as Baki from the Sentai dub of Baki, Frank from the Sentai dub of Hero Mask, and Shinji from Haikyuu. I wonder if that's like Shinji from Avon Jellyfish. I haven't seen Haikyuu yet. It's on my backlog. But, yeah. Now, I might as well comment here. Blake Jackson does a solid job as Shun. I am interested how he would portray Baki, though. Baki being alpha manly man, Shun being, well, there's no mincing words about it. He's the beta male of the Saints group. So, that is what I think I would love to see at some point. And, yeah. That's probably the most colossal fuck-up I made during that vid. There's probably others, too. At some point, we are going to look at the ADV dub for Saint Seiya, and yes, the Deke dub as well. Moving on from that, speaking of things that need to be redone, the Netflix attempt at Knights of the Zodiac, the really crappy reboot. Yes, I'm aware the audio is screwed up in that video, and I'd said during Season 1 I had no intention of redoing it, but I really don't like leaving that video there like that, so I will redo it at some point. Not anytime soon, though, because it's absolutely dreadful. Speaking of Saint Seiya, I have had people message me. I am aware, yes, Netflix did indeed lose the rights to Saint Seiya, yet they kept the shitty reboot and the Lost Canvas prequel series, meaning as of right now, there is no legal, official way to watch Saint Seiya. The closest thing you have to an official way is tracking down the old ADV dub on DVD or the Deke dub on DVD, both of which are exceedingly rare, the Deke dub especially, and neither of which completed the series. Good job, Netflix. At first I thought maybe Sentai would be getting the rights, but being as how it's been a couple months since then, I'm starting to have my doubts. We never even got to finish the fucking Hades arc either, let alone the movies, because Discotech licensed those and they don't know how to dub shit. Yeah, I know someone's going to say, well, they dub Case Closed and Lupin the Third stuff. Okay, well, what about Saint Seiya? Why are they so selective with what shit they dub? Anyway, moving on from that, Interspecies Reviewers was the next one I believe we covered. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through each one vid by vid. I'm just going to go over the ones where stuff could have been improved upon or elaborated on. Especially with stuff we know now, because after making the Interspecies Reviewers video, Brittany Lotta would come out, and yeah, she was the voice of Maidri from that dub. You all know Brittany Lotta, right? Ichigo from Darling in the Franxx, Satoko from Higurashi Go and Sotsu. Anyway, she would talk about the show's cancellation and how, if I remember right, she didn't understand why it was canceled. Someone could correct me on that. It has been a couple of years. Either way, though, one of the other things I'd like to mention is how the show was released on Blu-ray in a steelbook format with a CD and an art book that they went all out for from a different publisher with no dub, because Funimation refused to relinquish the dub rights, and that is one of the scummiest shitty things a company can do, but it's Funimation. I'm not surprised. Also, we still don't know who else was in that dub, even though, I mean, there are some voices that are like, how do people not recognize these? I'm not saying that to be a dick, but it's like, for example, Monica Rail's got a very distinct voice. Just saying. Anyway, moving on from that. Don't feel bad. I'm terrible with some voice actors' voices too. Cautious Hero, covered both that. The drama CD probably could have done a little more on, but what can you do with that? That limited edition is now out of print because, of course, and Funimation, to my knowledge, never released the CD by itself. Look, at least put it up on your website for people to listen to or on your YouTube channel. Shit like that really irritates the hell out of me. It's the same thing with the Code Geass drama CDs. You can find them separately from third parties, but Funimation's limited edition for Code Geass neglected to include them. Also, because we're here on Cautious Hero, everyone in this dub cast besides Anthony Bowen is an asshole. By which I'm talking about out of the main party. I know there's other people that aren't dicks, but you all know what I mean. Just like saying that. Next, if it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat a Demon Lord. Yeah, made a mistake here because I didn't make myself clear with some of the things I said. So after the main character, Dale, finds the demon girl Latina and adopts her, we're constantly told that he seems much different before he found Latina. What I was trying to get at is, we don't see much of what he was like before he found her, so we don't get a good feel for it. So, yeah, they really should have elaborated more on that. Also, I've seen some people say this show is creepy and weird, and I don't get that impression. It kind of reminds me of Somali and the Forest Spirit, to be honest. But, whatever. I guess each person has their own thought process, so what can you do? Opinions are like turkeys, after all. Everyone has them. Speaking of which, Golden Time! Critically acclaimed anime, but all I have to say on it is Bon Retardo. That is officially my new name for this piece of shit, because fuck this character, and, yeah, fuck Golden Time. Anyway, moving on from that, Manana March happened, and there's, again, probably could have covered some stuff better, but I would like to just point out Razafon is now owned by Sentai with a bitchin' steelbook release, so that's cool, and Kakaishi was saved by Discotech. I believe the dub for that streaming on Crunchyroll. So, hey, there you go. But moving on from that, still no word on Hybrid X Heart's dub after another 2 years. This show's never going to get dubbed, is it? Can someone at least give it a fan dub? Yeah, I know, Brittany Lotta, they're not official, but it doesn't fucking matter to some of us. We still want to see the show in dub. But alright, and because people asked during the Camphor video, I'll answer now. Favorite animal person in Camphor? I didn't like the show, but I'm just going to say Burnt Alive Lion, because that name is fucking hilarious. I believe there was also Exploding Penguin. Again, that name is hilarious, so I'm going to go with that. Moving on from that, though, we come to Gilgamesh. Oh boy, Gilgamesh. I can't believe how lazy I was with some of the shit in this review, or overview of the dub. Firstly, I didn't list off roles for some of the people on the cast list. I just said I wasn't familiar with them and moved on. Granted, Gilgamesh was a terrible show and I didn't want to remember it if possible, but that's no excuse. So, let me correct that now. First, Countess herself, Countess, is voiced by Alice Fox. Or Alice Fox. Anyway, she was known for voicing Xander in Appleseed Ex Machina, and Lady of the Evening, as well as Running Prostitute in Samurai Goon. And as I stated back at Gilgamesh, this dub performance from everyone involved is not a good representation of them. The next character I had trouble listing off roles for was Toru out of the main cast, voiced by Quentin Hogg, who is Gerardo from Red Garden, haven't seen it, probably butchered that, as well as Cameraman and Diamond Daydreams. what I just said for Countess applies here as well. There's not much to really go on. Moving on from him, we have Osamu, voiced by Andrew Love. And all I said is he was an Aoi no Sora and Fibrain. I didn't say who he was. Chiaki and Sora, and Doubt and Fibrain. Either way, I don't know what the hell was wrong with me there. That anime probably broke me in more ways than I could even care to remember. I also said the ADR dub director was Jack Alvarez. I don't even know who the fuck that is. I don't know why I saw his name attached to the show, but no. As I've pointed out since, it was Stephen Foster. Who, by the way, he could say that he dubbed the show the way it was meant to be all he wants, but that doesn't excuse the dub fuck-up line of a character saying, "Well, look at the one big happy," when he walks into a room of people eating dinner together. You know, instead of the big happy family, he left out the word family. Look at the one big happy. Aye, sir! Either way, fuck Gilgamesh. Let that show burn. Don't ever want to talk about it again. Which means I'm probably going to have to at some point. I swear if Netflix gets the rights to it and gives it a redub or something. Anyway, next was Midori Days, which apparently had a second dub. And not much to say on that. Just some point need to cover the second dub, if I can find it. As far as other things, my opinion has changed on a couple of animes. I felt like I was too nice to record of A1 War. Grand Crest War. But it still wasn't a terrible anime. I just think I rated it too high. It was just average. As far as animes I've softened up on, though, DMC. I remember being a little harsh towards that anime, but someone I know pointed out, approach it like a character study for Dante. If you approach it as a character drama instead of an action piece, you'll have more fun with it, and they're actually kind of right with that. It makes sense. So, yeah, DMC is a show I've softened up on. That's just my opinion. Maybe you'll still disagree, or maybe you'll agree. I don't know. Let me know. Love Love Total Eclipse. That's a Dubster Dive I should probably redo at some point. I made a few mistakes there. In fact, yeah, that whole vid probably needs to be redone. As far as moving on from that, DAZ-Ray, I was right in my guess of one of the characters I couldn't find the cast for, or voice for. Mikhail, voiced by Tyson Reinhardt, who was also the scriptwriter. You know, Animal Mask from Kimono Michi. Oh, there you go. I guessed one right. Does that mean I win in your eyes, please? That was the end for Season 1. As far as Season 2, I just want to give shout out to High Score Girl and Backstreet Girls and why aren't those shows on physical media yet? I will never let this argument go. Anyway, as far as other things, yeah, it's been over a year, still nothing on Hellgirls, English dub being back in print, or the show itself. And Super HX Heroes, I know, has an OVA, it was never dubbed, and I hope it never gets dubbed because fuck that show. As I stated before, that is probably the worst harem I've ever seen in my life. I never want it brought back. And, yeah. No amount of excuses from the voice actors are going to help me give them any slack on that dub. It was terrible. No one gave a shit. Reminds me of Platinum End, actually. Sorry, we'll get to Platinum End eventually. As far as other shows, Anohana is another one. I should have honestly covered the themes more closely. You know, the show going into the theme of accepting death and learning to move on from it, and not wallowing in your own misery and finding ways to get past trauma, which is kind of the same theme as Persona 3. I'm surprised I didn't touch upon this more with Anohana. I guess I was more focused on the dub itself. But, yeah, especially with me loving Persona 3 and all. Seriously, Atlas, remaster that, you fucks. But yeah. Oh yeah, Anohana's getting a sequel, isn't it? Damn it, why? The show had a good ending. Okay. Moving on from that, Itsudate My Santa. Funimation. Sorry, I just wanted to piss on their parade again. And yeah. After that, the next one I feel like jumping to, Umineko. Now that Higurashi Go and Sotsu are over, the Umineko Kickstarter dub. We've got nothing on that. Again, been over a year. Well, about a year. But that was when we got Minyan March Part 2. With probably one fuck-up I forgot to mention. The FMA live-action adaptation. I hope this is the last time I have to talk about this pile of dicks, too. So what I was going to say, which I neglected to mention in the thing, why was Alphonse voiced by Aaron Dismuke when he was in Armor? In his past self, he was voiced by Ryan Bartley, and they went on explicit detail about how his soul does not age. Yet his voice hit puberty? I'm just saying, it doesn't make much sense. I understand the nostalgia baiting of getting the voice cast back together, but maybe Maxie Whitehead would have been a better fit? Oh well, maybe y'all will disagree with me on that. I don't know. Let me know. Now, as far as the Bleach retrospective we did, got some stuff off on that, but again, I'll address that once Bleach comes back, because figured that'd be more appropriate to do there. Quintuplets, yeah, the thing I mentioned with Rina that I didn't get around to in the video, I'll address once the film comes out, because I feel it'll be relevant there. And there's a lot of shit that I need to mention about Evangelion that I didn't know at the time of those videos, but I'm planning on making a buyer's guide vid coming up in the next month or so about which version of Eva is probably the best to go for. So I'll cover some of the stuff then. But hey, at least I know after that, sometime soon I want to have another recommendation month, because holy shit, those are fun. Yeah, even Magical Welfare, which was terrible, still fun getting a recommendation. Now, as far as after that, Seven Deadly Sins, Cursed by Light, we didn't know who the supreme deity was at the time, but now we do. She was voiced by Rebecca Thomas, or Valkyrie from Eden Zero. So, the more you know, I guess. And also, someone brought up, why didn't I harp on more about how silly Ju-on's dub was? Yeah, you're probably right. Ju-on's dub was silly, but I don't think it was garbage or terrible. I just think it was awkward to get used to, as live-action dubs usually are. But hey, it's not fucking Squid Game, so I'll take what I can get. And we're approaching the end. Higurashi, Sotsu and Go. Wouldn't you know it, the day I posted the Dubster Dive for Sotsu, Satoshi's voice actor was revealed. Casey McGillio. 3 for 3. First, Spike Spencer as Shinji. Then Allison Victorin as Yahiko in Rurouni Kenshin live action. Now Daryl Gibo as Satoshi and Higurashi. You know what? Knowing my luck, if they ever bring back Full Metal Alchemist, which you know they probably will, they're going to have Casey McGillio voice Edward Elric. Tell me I'm fucking wrong. Seriously. And Michelle Rojas even made a comment saying she knew she was going to hire Casey as Satoshi the second the show started. One, how? We didn't even know if Satoshi was going to make an appearance. So that's bullshit. Two, why? I don't even understand that casting in the first place. But, I don't know. Maybe I'm the fool. Now, as far as other fuck-ups coming up, I couldn't find out who Kasai was. To this day, I still don't know. Someone had him listed on Anime Voiceover Wiki, but that can be edited by anybody, and you know how that sort of thing goes. So, yeah. As far as the next thing, Sao Aria of a Starless Night, I got Kaiba's voice wrong. Probably my fault for immediately jumping on trying to cover that film the day I saw it, but there you go. That's double-edged sword, I guess. He was actually voiced by David W. Collins, Naoto from Kuroko's Basketball, and Yashiro from Erased. So, yeah, and apparently he's been Kaiba since Alicization, but more you know, I guess. And the last one I want to cover, Black Lagoon. Yeah, even in the latest Dubster Dive, I made a mistake. I had assumed that they, didn't... It was when Rock was translating for Balalaika. I assumed that in the sub, this scene would have been really dumb, but no, Balalaika even spoke English in the sub version as well, so there you go. In fact, it was the Otaku Paradise who pointed that out in the comments section. I went and double-checked, and sure enough, it was right. So, good on you, sir. But, yeah. I will say, though, I wasn't wrong about the dub being better with that scene, though, because Balalaika in the Japanese version, I'll be blunt, English. So, More you know, though. But that about covers it. I'm sure there's other mistakes are made. Those are just the glaring ones. And again, being as how even the latest video I fucked up, I can admit it. I'm probably going to make mistakes going forward too. And you know what? I appreciate you all pointing them out to me. And if there are any I missed, please let me know. Sure there are. As far as things going forward, Manana March 3 is coming up. But of course my fucking phone is ringing. Of course it is. Anyway, it wouldn't be a video of mine without that, or a stream of mine, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Manana March 3 is coming up. Tiger and Bunny, again, did all the research for that. Haven't watched it yet, planning on soon. And yeah, Gundam is another series, want to cover more vids on. We did G Gundam last year, and you know, lots of Gundam shows I want to get around to watching that I haven't seen yet. For example, Gundam Seed, seen a couple of episodes way back in the day on Toonami, but not enough to really remember much. Same with Gundam Wing. So, it's fucking weird, isn't it? I have literally seen every legendary mecha. Gurren Lagann, Code Geass I grew up with, Eva, like, even fucking Back Arrow. Yet when it comes to Gundam, I've seen very few Gundam franchises or series. I don't know how I managed to do that, but I want to rectify that, so expect more Gundam at some point soon, because, yeah. But as far as that going forward, yeah, the dubs never end, guys. There's lots of stuff that I want to cover at some point. I hope you all will join me for those in the future, and thank you all who've stuck around for the last 2 years, or even if you just showed up now. Really appreciate it, and yeah, I'll be back with more Dubster Dives. So, hope you all have yourselves a fantastic day. If you have any shows you'd like us to cover, leave a comment down below. And until next time, guys, have yourselves a great day. Thanks again. Ichimaru!